now talking to the major platforms. So we call them wirehouses, so Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch, Wells Fargo, and they are in deep due diligence, like, okay, what is this? We have to have a point of view now. While no major platform has yet put any of the spot Bitcoin ETFs on its platform yet, we think that's coming. We can tell from the kinds of questions they're asking. Ecosystem, authorized participants, market makers is a very lucrative ecosystem, and these wirehouses host many of them. We could scale to hundreds of billions of dollars.
Despite initial skepticism, especially given her bullish $1.5 million price prediction for Bitcoin, ARK Invest founder and CEO Cathie Wood is now even more optimistic about the leading cryptocurrency by market cap. The catalyst for Cathie's newfound enthusiasm is the remarkable success of spot Bitcoin ETFs. Since their launch in January, these ETFs have consistently exceeded expectations, attracting tens of billions of dollars. Notably, the IBIT ETF has emerged as a standout performer. Recent reports indicate that it has surpassed the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust to become the world's largest Bitcoin-based spot ETF. On May 28, IBIT recorded $12.5 million in inflows, while Grayscale experienced $15 million in outflows, bringing IBIT's total Bitcoin holdings to 288,000. Cathie predicts that this is just the beginning. She believes the inflows will increase significantly as these products become more integrated into traditional finance through wirehouses. According to Cathie, the current success of these ETFs will pale in comparison to what lies ahead once major wirehouses like Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America adopt Bitcoin on their platforms. She foresees the ETFs transitioning from attracting billions to hundreds of billions of dollars. Additionally, Cathie notes that several wirehouses are on the brink of adopting Bitcoin, evidenced by their growing interest in Bitcoin ETFs and the cryptocurrency itself. She anticipates this move will be highly successful and drive Bitcoin prices even higher, prompting her to update her timeline for Bitcoin reaching $1 million. While she previously projected this milestone for 2030, she now believes it will occur much sooner.
Stop, you don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
A lot of people found ARK because of Bitcoin in our early days. And so they were in the retail space, individuals who were just buying for their own accounts. What has changed is we are now talking to the major platforms, so we call them wirehouses, so Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch, Wells Fargo, and they are in deep due diligence, like, okay, what is this? We have to have a point of view now. They actually have an index against which they're going to be judged, and that's an ETF. Right? Now Bitcoin is part of how they're going to be graded. And while no major platform has yet put any of the spot Bitcoin ETFs on its platform yet, we think that's coming. We can tell from the kinds of questions they're asking. They're asking deep questions, not only about Bitcoin itself, but about infrastructure, ops, risks. So the heat is on because this is a new asset class. Bitcoin is a new asset class. It's a monetary system to be sure, but it also represents a new asset class. What that means in our world is that as a fiduciary, someone looking after portfolios for people, a fiduciary has to consider a new asset class because of the low correlation with other assets in terms of returns and risk. And so if you add Bitcoin to an existing portfolio, if that is right, and this is low correlation asset, what that means is over time, returns per unit of risk will go up. So if one platform has Bitcoin and offers that opportunity of diversification and higher risk-adjusted returns, and another doesn't, then they're going to have a problem if this one's right.
How much bigger does these platforms, how much of a difference would these make?
Well, the ETFs are a wonderful structure. They can scale. You've got an ecosystem. This is not just the 10 companies or how many are still in operation. I don't know if any, I don't think any has outright failed yet, but the ecosystem, the structure is extremely flexible because the authorized participants, the market makers, are not inside one firm. We have dozens of authorized participants, and those are the big brokerage houses. So this is another reason they're being not forced into this, they're being lured into this, because the ecosystem, authorized participants, market makers, is a very lucrative ecosystem, and these wirehouses host many of them. So I think, you know, we could scale to hundreds of billions of dollars.
Last month, at a Bitcoin conference in London, Bitwise CIO Matt Hogan emphasized the significant impact wirehouses would have on spot Bitcoin ETFs. He explained that major national platforms like Morgan Stanley and UBS would dramatically increase access to Bitcoin ETFs, boosting demand for these products several times over. Hogan predicted that we were just weeks away from seeing one or two wirehouses list Bitcoin ETFs and only a few months before they all do, noting that the ongoing success of these ETFs would pressure funds to expedite their due diligence. During her conversation with McCormick, Cathie would discuss the evolving political landscape in Washington, particularly regarding the cryptocurrency industry. Last Wednesday, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, which establishes a regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies. This bill delineates responsibilities between the more crypto-friendly Commodity Futures Trading Commission and the Securities and Exchange Commission under Gary Gensler's leadership. Cathie described the bill as a significant victory for the cryptocurrency industry, further highlighted by the bipartisan support it received, indicating growing acceptance and a positive regulatory outlook for cryptocurrencies. Returning to Cathie's chat with McCormick, the ARK Invest founder delved further into the surprising Ethereum ETF approvals, the shifting political dynamics, and Donald Trump's recent endorsement of cryptocurrencies. She emphasized that the growing acceptance and positive regulatory environment instill hope and optimism among investors, suggesting a bright future for the cryptocurrency market.
Oh, the read was it was not going to be approved. It was absolutely not going to be approved. So what happened? If it were to have been approved the regular way, we would have been getting questions, meaning from the SEC, and no one was getting questions from the SEC beforehand. So that was an indication, no go, just, we'll have to try it again. What happened in 1 week's time, and I truly believe this was one of the things that happened, is there was sentiment evolving around this FIT 21 Act in the House that, wait a minute, this thing is gaining momentum on both sides of the aisle. Wow, this could be an election year issue. This is an election year. So the administration, I think, basically said, oh, and the other thing that happened was former President Trump has become much more cozy with Bitcoin, crypto generally, and that week said he would accept campaign donations in crypto. So again, this idea, this is an election year issue, and then I cannot tell you, I was on the phone with our COO, and he was like, he screamed when he saw this come across, like, what? It was within 3 days of being denied. We were sure. We were sure it was going to be denied. And I think it was this campaign election year. You've got the legislative branch. You've got former President Trump. You had, rapid fire and boom. I don't think the wirehouses will accept, there could be two or these two, maybe Solana, maybe. But I don't think that the wirehouse platforms will want to do more than the majors, right? Just to give their clients exposure to this new asset class. What I do think is, and we have some of these, that private funds are going to sift through the thousands out there and probably find, 20 or 30. But you're going to have to do a tremendous amount of due diligence because, as you say, there's a lot of nonsense going on out there.
And we had President Trump come out and say some very interesting, important things. What's your read on this?
Well, my read, but consider the source, is that Art Laffer is one of his advisors. And Art Laffer and I were just in El Salvador together. So, and I've watched Art's evolution. He's 83 years old. He has served, I think, almost every president, but after his experience with President Nixon, he has never been paid by any of these presidents, and I'm saying on both sides of the aisle. And he is more excited about Bitcoin, and I've known him since 1976. He was my professor at University of Southern California, USC. I have not seen him more excited about anything. He's 83 years old right now, more excited about anything since Proposition 13 in California, which was property tax reform. But he's more excited about this because it has ramifications for the world, not just at that time.
In other developments, BlackRock's IBIT and other U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs continue to experience substantial demand and inflows. On Wednesday, these Bitcoin-based ETFs marked the 12th consecutive day of inflows, representing the longest streak of positive flows since the 14-day record set in February. Notably, IBIT recorded $12.5 million in net inflows on Tuesday, followed by Fidelity's FBTC attracting $34.35 million. Cathie Wood sees this as a remarkable achievement, suggesting that such milestones could be just weeks away. Share your thoughts on Cathie's interview in the comments below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these two awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.